This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
As you get closer to your retirement goal line, your goal year, your goal age, whatever it is, there are other ages, other milestone markers that are happening. Actually, it's not just before retirement. It's about 2 decades, 10 years before and 10 years after retirement on average of milestone ages, Abe, that we need to know about. They're important in the planning process. So want to break that down with you here on the podcast today. I'm Heather Branch. This is Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services, who is here to talk about things he wants you to be aware of as you get closer to, or perhaps you're already in retirement. So theretirementkey.com is where to start the conversation with Abe and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes. Again, it's theretirementkey.com. So I guess a lot of people just focus on 65. That's what's been hammered in our head. You're retired at 65. But there are lots of ages when things happen. It begins at age 50. That's when you can start making catch-up contributions to your retirement accounts. But let's go through this Kiplinger article where they were talking about key milestone ages in this phase of life that we need to be aware of, and why, obviously more important, what we need to be doing in these age ranges.
Yeah, so in this article, there are 7 key important milestones that you want to be aware of when it comes to retirement. And so let's start with the first age 59 and a half. Now, age 59 and a half is important because with the TSP and with most 401k plans, that would include like 403b plans, 457 plans with most of them. Yeah. Since you're now 59 and a half years old, even if you're working for the employer where your 401k is or TSP is with the government. At 59 and a half, with most employer plans, you are now IRS age eligible to be able to move or transfer or roll over part or all of the TSP or 401k into a traditional IRA or Roth IRA of your choice at any major platform, anywhere. It could be Fidelity, Schwab, wherever. And that's because if you think about it, if you're planning on retiring at 65, you're only 5 or 6 years away now from full retirement. And the IRS says you should have more options available to you outside of your employer plan. So like the TSP really only has 5 options to choose from. And then a combination of those 5 options. So maybe it's like 10 options. In most 401ks, there are usually only 10, 15, 20 options to choose from. Sometimes they can be expensive. And so you're limited, right, with the options you have to choose from in those employer plans. Well, at 59 and a half years old, it makes sense for a lot of people to actually take control of their employer plan, roll it over. That's a non-taxable event. So if it's in the pre-taxed 401k or TSP, you can roll it over into a traditional IRA without tax or penalty. If you had any Roth TSP or Roth 401k, you could roll that over into a Roth IRA. And then again, on a major platform like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, whoever, you aren't just confined or restricted to those 10, 15, 20 options that you might have in your employer plan. There are literally thousands and thousands of options, which is attractive for most people because they're like, they don't want to be limited to the employer plan's options. And again, oftentimes come at less cost.
Got it.
So key first age there in terms of milestones for retirement is age 59 and a half.
Okay. Got it. All right. So now we move into our 60s, the 6th decade of life. There's a lot of stuff that starts happening in our 60s. This is where, this is where the decade where people are retiring. So lots of numbers here we need to be aware of.
Yeah. So the second age range that you want to be aware of, which is new for 2025, is for those of you watching that are between 60 to 63 years old, starting in 2025, new this year in 2025, there are higher, it's called a super catch-up contribution, higher contribution limits available inside 401ks and TSPs and even simple IRAs. So this year, for anyone, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can put away $23,500 into a 401k, right? So I'm 46. I can put away $23,500 into my 401k. I'm not yet 50. I can't take advantage of a catch-up provision. 50 and older, you can put away $7,500 more. That's a total of $31,000 now. But for ages 60 to 63, an additional, I think it's $3,750 for a total of around like almost $35,000 almost that someone 60 to 63 can put into a TSP or 401k. And a lot of people still don't know that,
right?
Because it's a new rule
Well, it's new,
for
yeah.
2025. So one of many, many reasons why clients hire us is because they want to get out of their own way and they don't know what they don't know. And a lot of it is just simply understanding the rules and the mechanisms for rollovers and transfers and consolidation, the rules to Social Security, tax planning, and all this stuff that the average American isn't dealing with every day, and we are. Right.
Yep.
So that's it. That's a new milestone, a new age range that you want to be aware of if you're heading into the ages of 60 to 63. Additional catch-up contribution amounts, because again, you're probably retiring in a few years and the IRS says, you know what, you guys can put away more money as you get closer to retirement.
Okay. I want to break this down a little bit rather than going in chronological order. Let's talk about, because there's two different age ranges, actually three, to talk about Social Security. So let's first talk about Medicare. So at age 65,
sure,
we're eligible for Medicare now.
Right. That's right. So at 65, that is when you're first eligible for Medicare. Yeah. And depending on if you're still working or not, I mean, you typically hop on Medicare Part A, whether you're working or not, and then oftentimes would consider the supplements like Part B, Part D for prescription drugs. And again, depending on your situation, you might be on TRICARE, like if you're former military. You don't have to purchase the supplements, and not everybody does, but that is a key age where you are first eligible for Medicare is age 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
Social Security. This is what I was saying. There's three ages we have here on this list. There's age 62, there's age 66 to 67. There's a range there depending on, I guess, when you were born, and then there's age 70. So let's talk about what we need to know in that space.
Yeah. Early Social Security, full retirement age Social Security, and then maximum Social Security. Now, if only we knew when we were going to pass away, right? Because then we would all know when to collect and take Social Security. But these are the basics that you should know.
Okay.
If you take Social Security early, like 62, 63 years old, the benefits are going to be reduced, right? Compared to waiting to 65, 67, or 70. It's going to be the smallest benefit. You're taking it early. Right. You wait a couple more years, you wait till full retirement age. Now there's no income restriction. So if you're working, you can make as much money as you want, get your full benefit. And obviously you just had 5 more years of growth. Benefits have gotten larger. Maybe it's $1,000 a month more at 67 versus 62. And then finally at 70 years old is the maximum benefit that anyone can receive. And between your full retirement age, it could be between 66 and 67 and 70. Those benefits grow by about 8% per year, guaranteed and compounded. So for some people, it makes sense to wait to 70. And for a lot of people, it also makes sense to even take benefits early at 62. I mean, if you're retiring in your 50s by chance or early 60s, all wages have ended, you're never going to work again, that could be a time to consider taking Social Security early.
Okay. Lots
of factors, though. Like, do you need it? Are you still working? What does your health look like? How long does your family live? If you don't take it early, then most people would be collecting it at full retirement age. It's mid-60s, 66, 67.
Okay.
And I would say fewer people will wait to 70. That doesn't mean it's wrong or bad to wait till 70. That's when the benefits are largest. The largest benefits, but you better live a good amount of time because there's a break even, right? There's a period of time that has to go by even waiting to your mid-60s or till 70 to make it worth waiting. Like there's time that has to pass, and that's usually about 10 to 12 years before you actually would start collecting more for waiting to receive a larger check. Think about it. If at 62, you took Social Security early, and let's say it's $2,000 a month, and then at 67, let's say it's $3,000, and then $4,000 at 70. I mean, if you take it at 62, $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year for 5 years. You've got over $100,000 in your pocket. By the time you start taking your first check at 67, which is $1,000 a month more, how many months would it take to break even? 100 months. It's like 9 years. So when we break that math down for our clients and prospective clients, and then they realize, oh, I'm going to be 75, 78, 80 before I start collecting more money. I might not be around. I might not be living. I don't want to wait till 78 to 82 to break even. Those are my slow go years. I want extra cash flow in my go-go years. But on the other hand, You may have parents living into your 90s. You may be working until your mid to late 60s. You might not need the income. You might have a spouse that's younger than you where you want to defer and delay your benefit so you have a larger survivor benefit to your younger spouse.
Right.
If you die first.
Right.
These might be reasons to wait till 70 for the larger check. It all really depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are key milestone ages for Social Security: 62, 66, and 67, and 70.
All right. Now we're in our 70s, and a big milestone age is age 73. So let's talk about the conversation that is when we turn 73.
Yeah. Forced required minimum distributions, RMDs.
Yep.
So I'll use myself as an example.
Okay.
I started saving into 401ks and IRAs around 25, 26 years old. A couple years into my working career when I was making enough money to actually save some money.
Yeah.
Right. It was $25 a month, $50 a month.
Right.
Well, now I'm 46. Okay. So 20 years have passed by that I've been able to defer all that tax into my 401ks. And as the law stands now, I have almost another 30 years until I turn 73. It's really 27 years from now. So I would have been able to defer and compound and let all that money grow for 47 years without paying a penny of tax.
Mm-hmm.
Then you wake up at 73 and the IRS is knocking at your door and they're like, well, wait a minute, Heather, you might only live to 80, 82, 85, and you've got $1 million, $2 million, $5 million in this account. And you haven't paid the government a penny of tax yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's your time to start paying. And as you get older and closer to really passing away, the amounts, the percentages you have to take out go up, right? It makes sense. If you're 73, it's a smaller amount. It's around 4%, a little bit less, but around 4. At 80, I think it goes into the 5s. At 90, I believe it goes into the 8s. Like 8% of whatever you have in an IRA or 401k has to come out, whether you want to or not. So you want a retirement plan that's built for income, built for distributions. You want a retirement plan that's comprehensive, where you know the rules to the game, you know how things work. That's why it's so crucial to be working with a retirement planner, a financial planner who specializes in working with these people, in their 60s and 70s all day long.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. Obviously, one of the biggest goals that you have through everything that you do is working to educate people, inform them, not on a broad scale, but on a micro level, what's about you. Let's talk about that. This is your money. This is your life. Let's make a plan specific to you. Here's what's going on within your savings. This is why you wrote your book, The Retirement Mountain, The 7 Steps to a Long-Lasting Retirement. Abe, we published this, was it book about this time last year? Is it?
Yeah, about October of 2024 is when it came out.
Not quite a year. It's been about 8 months. And it's a great, easy read, something you can read on a Saturday afternoon as far as beginning the conversation, getting this knowledge and education. Abe put his thoughts down on paper so that you could have a quick and consumable way to begin the conversation. Just maybe the internal dialogue. I think that that's great also about this book you wrote. It's thought-provoking, bringing up ideas, questions, things that people have never thought about before. Yeah, it's called The Retirement Mountain, right? And the thought process is, there's the ascent, the descent. And all of our clients, before they start working with us, are pretty much at the top of their ascent, at the top of their own retirement mountain. They know how to save and accumulate. And they're sitting at the doorsteps of retirement, at the top of their own retirement mountain, wanting to descend down safely into retirement, have their money last, avoid pitfalls, avoid tumbling down the mountain, right? And making wrong mistakes. Yeah. Knowing the rules of the game. And that's what the whole book is about, is the steps, 7 steps. Yep. You need to know about for a long-lasting retirement. That's in our opinion. So that's the theme of the book. Got it. Lots of ways for you to begin reading the book. Everybody that comes in for a complimentary consultation, that first appointment will give you a free copy of the book. You can also get the book on Amazon, or there's ways via the website for you to download an e-reader, an e-book, so you can read the book via PDF format. Anyways, just lots of ways to get you the information that Abe wants you to have for your future. So we've got links posted in the show notes. You can click there. You can find us anytime at theretirementkey.com. There's more information on how to get in touch with Abe and his team, as well as how to get your hands on the book, because that's what it's about, getting you this information. It's your money. It's your future. So take control of it. Abe and his team, they are here to help you do just that. So click on the links that got posted in the show notes, or again, find us anytime at theretirementkey.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.